Good morning. You are listening to Independent TV 7. I'll be sharing two articles and two headlines. Today's headlines: number one says, "Saw Buhari now or we sue him." Buhari told to suspend national identification number, registration, and others. President Muhammadu Buhari must be stopped from selling public properties to fund 2021 budget. The Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) on Sunday urged the National Assembly to urgently review the 2021 Appropriation Act to stop President Muhammadu Buhari's administration from selling public assets to fund the 2021 budget. In a statement signed by its Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, SERAP urged the Senate President Ahmed Lawal and Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila to identify areas in the budget to cut salaries and allowances of members of the National Assembly and the Presidency in order to address the growing deficit and borrowing. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, had last week confirmed that the federal government will sell some government-owned properties to fund the 2021 budget. The statement reads, "The National Assembly has a constitutional and oversight responsibility to protect valuable public properties and to ensure a responsible budget spending, allowing the government to sell public properties and to enjoy almost absolute discretion to borrow to fund the 2021 budget would amount to a fundamental breach of constitutional and fiduciary duties. Selling valuable public properties to fund the 2021 budget would be counterproductive, as this would be vulnerable to corruption and mismanagement. It would undermine the social contract with Nigerians, leave the government worse off, and hurt the country in the long run. It is neither necessary nor in the public interest. The country's fiscal situation must be changed, and changed quickly, through some combination of cuts in spending on salaries and allowances, and a freeze on spending in certain areas of the budget such as hardship and furniture allowances, entertainment allowances, international travels, and buying of motor vehicles and utilities for members and the presidency. The time is now for the leadership of the National Assembly to stand up for the Nigerian people, stop the rush to sell public properties, push for a responsible budget, and support efforts to have the government spend responsibly. Other areas to propose cutting include constituency allowance, wardrobe allowance, recess allowance, and entertainment allowance. Yeah, you're listening to Independent TV 7. The article today says Buhari should be stopped from selling public properties, and also to stop Buhari now or we sue him, group tells Lawan Gbajabiamila. President Muhammadu must stop selling public properties, which is so paramount. If he sells, or if the presidency sells the public funds or public property rather, it would affect Nigeria at the long run. Nigeria could go on recession because those are the properties that Nigeria needs now to even elevate, because the Nigeria we are as it is today, we have borrowed over trillions of naira. Borrowed, and as soon as they borrow those money, they share it among themselves. Why is it so? So the idea of cutting down their allowances, which states that the time is now for the leadership of the National Assembly to stand up for the Nigerian people, stop the rush to sell public properties, push for a responsible budget, and support efforts to have the government spend responsibly. Other areas to propose cutting include constituency allowance, wardrobe allowance, if all these allowances can be cut, recess allowance, and entertainment allowance, The country's fiscal situation must be changed and changed quickly through some combination of cuts in spending on salaries and allowances and a freeze on spending in certain areas of the budget, such such as hardship allowance. I've never heard about that before. Hardship allowance. I would like you to share it in your comments as soon as I stop reading this news. And furniture allowances, entertainment allowances, international travels allowances, and buying of motor vehicles and utilities for members and the presidency. You are listening to Independent TV 7. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Independent TV 7 and share this news so that others can be aware. Thanks for listening and God bless.